Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the PAC Chat. I am Katie Rivera, Board Secretary, your host for today, and I am joined this afternoon with Melanie Dragone, one of our longest and wisest health freedom advocates in New Jersey, and a board director at NJPHIPAC. Here on the PAC Chat, we use this platform to introduce to you, our community, prominent and key players in New Jersey politics, as well as individuals and advocates whom are influential in affecting changes related to health freedom here in New Jersey. Today, we have Legislative Districts 3, projected / official winner of the Senate race, Ed Durr, who will be joining us shortly. For your information, Legislative District 3 covers Cumberland, Gloucester, and Salem counties. If this is your first time tuning in with NJPHIPAC, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. Before we get started, I want to highlight who we are at NJPHIPAC. NJPHIPAC is a grassroots, nonpartisan, and nonprofit political action committee. We are the first political action committee of its kind here in New Jersey. We were set up through the New Jersey Election Commission, and our focus in 2021 was to elevate the campaigns of candidates that align with our mission, much like Ed Durr, who we proactively endorsed in the 2021 New Jersey Senate election. NJPHIPAC's mission is to protect and strengthen the constitutionally guaranteed and fundamental rights of all New Jersey residents to make medical decisions for themselves and their families without coercion or undue constraint. In short, we are here to preserve parental rights and health freedoms for every New Jerseyan across the state. So, what is a political action committee? Political action committees are an extension of the democratic process and work greatly in our favor. When issues in current events around parental rights, the use of medical devices such as masks in schools, and the coercion around vaccines are becoming a reoccurring discussion at the dinner table, there is incredible value in having a PAC to help represent and affect these issues in Trenton politics. The PAC gives our community a seat at the political table and allows for us as a community to pool our resources and strategically influence key areas of New Jersey politics using the two currencies that matter, dollars and votes. Becoming a part of and supporting NJPHIPAC with your donations is how we collectively get stronger and build success with our issues. This week, we are all watching the results of the 2021 election closely, and we have seen many pockets of success with regard to our mission and our community and the elected officials who've won their races. While some areas we are awaiting clarity on who the winner is, it is clear that our community together is making strides to affect the political landscape in Trenton. With that said, let's bring on the man who has taken one of the most powerful bulldogs and nemesis to our community down in D3. Welcome, Ed Durr. Hi, Ed.
How you doing, Katie? How you doing, Melanie?
So good. So good to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy we were able to finally get this done.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Melanie Dragone. I'm excited to be here with you this afternoon with our special guest, Ed Durr. Thank you for joining us today, Ed, on this PAC Chat. We are honored to introduce you to our community and to have them get to know you a little bit better. So for those of you who don't know, Ed is the Republican Senate candidate challenger in District 3 taking on the Democratic Senate President Sweeney, who is the incumbent, so the legislator who's currently in that seat. Ed, can you clarify for our audience where the race is at currently at the moment at 4:14 on the 4th of November?
Well, last I was told, and this is just statements, I know that AP today at around noon called the race for me. I believe 100% of the vote has been tabulated. I'm somewhere in the area of a 2,400 lead. I do know that there are still ballots that are going to be counted as far as the BBMs and the provisionals, and the election will be certified on the 18th of the month. And hopefully I will still be considered the winner.
Well, that's great news to hear. Congratulations, it sounds like,
Thank
are in
you.
order. Yeah, fantastic. So Ed, it's been said that you've invested, let's just say minimally, in your campaign for the Senate seat regarding, the investment of dollars. Can you tell us a little bit about your efforts and how you're able to move the needle so drastically against a notorious bulldog like Senator Sweeney?
Well, I mean, somebody said to me, never let the truth get in the way of facts, but the 153 was something that was spent prior to the primary. I spent probably in the area closer to 6, 7, maybe even 8,000. I don't know the exact number. I have it written down. I do all my treasurer does all my filing. So but the failure of New Jersey government, they're lagging behind. So they're still back in June. So that's why I think people go on the New Jersey Elect and they see the posting of $153 and say, how'd the guy do it? Well, I might not spend 153. I spent more, but I didn't spend the millions of dollars. And how I did it was simple. I talked to the people. I knocked on the doors. I reached out to them. I let them know who I was. I let them know I was listening. I asked them if I could be their voice in Trenton, because as well as I do, you have no voice right now in Trenton. There has been no legislature who has been willing to stand up for the people. They just kowtow to whatever Governor Murphy wants, and it is not what their job is. Their job is to represent you, the people. And that's what I ask the people, to give me an opportunity to be that voice.
Great. Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself personally? What's your profession outside of politics, and what made you want to take on this race?
Well, born and raised in New Jersey, lived here all my life. I grew up just across the river from Philadelphia in Gloucester City, New Jersey, in Camden County.
Mm-hmm.
Got married at a young age of 20, had 3 wonderful children, Heather, Eddie, and Melissa. And later in life, decided, moved back here into Gloucester County and got remarried. And I have 6 wonderful grandchildren: CJ, Layla, Paige, Alex, Caleb, and Sophia. And that is what has, I guess, more or less been my driving force for politics. It's as a truck driver, because I'm a truck driver, and as a truck driver, I can go anywhere and get a job pretty much anywhere. I get inundated every day with calls, come drive for us. As well as I do the demand on truck drivers right now. So me as a driver, as surviving, having a living, wasn't the question. It was the question of, do I want to have to move out of the state that I grew up in, be away from my children, be away from my grandchildren, my parents? So I was like, this got to change. Something's got to stop here. And then I seen the abuses with the lockdowns and people being told they couldn't have a job, they couldn't go to church, they couldn't go to school, kids being forced to wear masks, I just said enough's enough. Somebody has to stand up and say something. And I have always been that big mouth. That's one thing they always going to say. You can hear Ed because he doesn't shut up and he's very loud. So
it sounds like you're very much invested, in being part of politics here, especially because you have 6 grandchildren who.
I'm invested in New Jersey.
You want to represent, right? And trends are maintained.
Yes.
Yep.
So I want to be here.
So I'm gonna.
Kids, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
We keep
No, go
dropping
ahead.
it.
I was gonna. Katie's next. So
We're
yeah, it's my.
experiencing a little delay, but yeah, go ahead and finish that thought, Ed, around being here. For
Well, I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that my investment is not in politics; it's in my kids and my grandkids and your kids. I believe in the people, and I want to see our freedoms restored. We have had too much of it taken away from us, and our voices ignored. So I want that to stop.
Well, I I think that we are very much aligned on that.
I
And
think so.
with that said, it is widely accepted across the state that Steve Sweeney is not only a foe, but one of the biggest nemesis to thousands of parents, grandparents, and health freedom advocates across New Jersey. And if I may, I want to just highlight the why behind such a strong statement like that. Why has Steve Sweeney been one of the most targeted legislators by our community? Why does the prospect of him losing his seat bring an abundance of hope and joy to so many across New Jersey? In 2019, the religious exemption bill was put up in the Senate Health Committee. Steve Sweeney was not on this committee, but took over the committee on the day voting would take place. He changed the composition of that committee, removing 3 seated Democrats from the committee just for this voting day, placing himself and 2 others in those committee seats to cast votes on the religious exemption bill in order to ensure that this bill would artificially pass that committee. Had the composition of that committee stayed as it was organically, the bill would not have passed, and that is fact. We witnessed the crux of Trenton political corruption that day, right before our very eyes. The system was hacked by a monster, a loophole was bastardized, and it didn't stop there. Sweeney continued to puff his chest and assume he would be able to push this bill through the full Senate, and therefore put the bill on the agenda in the full Senate to be heard later that month. Thousands of activists across the state gathered to protest, rally, and oppose this. December of 2019 and January of 2020 held the biggest demonstrations Trenton has ever seen, which many legislators provided incredible feedback to our community on our tenacity and our will to stand up, stand together, and fight for freedom. We earned many stripes as a community during that time. 12 to 18-hour days of chanting in freezing cold rain, our children and babies with us. We prayed, we sang, we chanted, all outside the State House, never letting up in our opposition to Sweeney and his bravado in putting this bill on the agenda to be heard. It is known that Sweeney never got the votes he needed for the bill in the full Senate, but we witnessed again his bulldog tactic at play in that Senate galley as Senator Vitale ping-ponged back and forth for hours between Sweeney's post and various seated senators, delivering messages to strong arm and attain the votes he would need to allow the religious exemption bill to be heard. The senators pressed to change their votes. They did not concede to Sweeney's bullying. And the session closed in January of 2020 with Sweeney failing to get his bill passed. He publicly punished one senator, Senator Lagana, for not changing his vote on the bill, removing him from his committees and removing funding. Sweeney sent a message to his peers: you defy what I want you to do, and you will end up like Joe Lagana. So with all that said, Ed, I'm not sure how much of this you knew, but The PAC was proud to endorse you in your candidacy for Senate. It was a no-brainer. Our community is beyond elated with the prospect of Senator Sweeney being taken out. This feels almost too good to be true. As the senator-elect, can you edify where your stances are with regard to parental rights and medical freedom? Talk to our viewers a bit about where you stand on vaccination choice, parental choice, and mandates.
Well, I knew a little bit of the story as you spoke of. I knew about the removal of his Democrat colleagues, and that was just a prime example of his bullying power that he has demonstrated over the years. Uh, as far as my stance goes, I've always believed in parental rights and parental decisions. I don't believe the government should have any say in what a parent decides, whether it be vaccinate or don't vaccinate. It doesn't matter what my personal choices are as far as the vaccination goes, or whether I agree or disagree with it. It matters what you think. It's all about the people. I have to apologize for my dog barking. I have news vans outside my door, and it's driving my dog nuts.
Oh, I thought it was Melanie's dog. Usually it's Melanie's dogs wrestling.
No,
I was going to yell at her
my
after the
dog.
live.
It's my dog going nuts because of news vans. But no, I am personally about rights. Everybody's freedom, the religious, medical freedom rights, your personal rights. I don't want the government deciding what you decide. It is your child, it's your life, it's your body, it's your decision, not theirs. They should never be deciding a medical choice for an individual. We are not a socialist country, hopefully, ever. But, they are trying to force feed government regulations that decide things for people. They've taken away your rights as far as raising your kids, and now they're deciding when your kid should be educated in certain aspects. And I just don't agree with that. I think this is a parent's right and a responsibility to raise their kids and decide what is best for them, not the government. So that's my stance.
Great. Well, thank you so much for answering so candidly. We appreciate your truth. And for us, it's about parents, like you said, having choices to make informed medical decisions on behalf of themselves and their family members. So there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for joining us this up close and personal discussion with Legislative Districts 3 Senator, it sounds like.
I think it's still going to be Senator-elect until November 18th.
Yes. We'll keep it there. But we hope that you can see how important it is. The key to getting behind candidates during an election to help the outcome of our movement. PAC proudly the outcome of this race could really be huge for our community and for the state of New Jersey. Protection of health freedoms here in New Jersey. NJPHIPAC needs your help in these collective efforts to influence state, our legislators. So if you want change and you want to help us maintain those relationships, help us do that. And there's a few ways that you can do. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
No, you're cutting in and out. Your connection's a little off.
Sorry. Yeah, it's because everyone is home in my house. Everyone's home and they're on the Wi-Fi.
They're all on the Wi-Fi. You want me to take it?
Sorry.
You want me to close it?
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
All right. Yep. So what Melanie is saying is that we need your help. We hope that you can see how important the success of key candidate election outcomes are to our movement. The PAC proudly endorsed Ed in his candidacy, and the outcome of this race will be huge for our community and how we move forward. So we need your help to continue our collective influence across the state. If you want change, then you must support change and contribute. And one of the ways that you can do that is by donating. Donate to NJPHIPAC to help secure the right candidates in key elections. As a grassroots PAC, we don't yet have large corporations funding our efforts, but that does not inhibit our success as long as we have the support of our community as contributors. In the eyes of the legislature, donors equals voters. No contribution is too small to help get our donor base up. Consider signing up to be a monthly contributor to NJ5PAC for just $5 a month and have your monthly contribution send a message to Trenton that this community is not backing down. The health freedom movement has grown exponentially through the pandemic, and we are seeing much success. We are asking you to help us show the New Jersey legislature what a large voting bloc we really are. That will make it irrefutable to take our issues seriously. So go to njfipac.org today and donate. Also, you can follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, TikTok, and more, all at NJPHIPAC. And sign up for our newsletters on our website at njfipac.org. This is how we keep you guys abreast of all the information and content that we're working so hard to put forth so that we are all stay on the same page and we're all informed equally. Ed, thank you so much for joining us today on the PAC Chat. We here at NJ5PAC are so proud to have endorsed you in the general election. Good luck to you, and thank you for being brave to stand up, to take a chance, and make a difference. We appreciate you and support you, and I'd like to give you the last word and closing remarks to our audience. Anything you'd like to say? And our final question to you is, what does medical freedom mean to you?
Well, medical freedom to me, I'll answer that question first, is about personal choice. It's your choice. It's my choice. It's the individual choice. It's not the government's choice. It's not the government's decision. So that's where I stand. I know that seems like a weird thing. The person who is asking to be part of a government is against government intervention, but that's where I stand. I believe as an elected official, you're there to be the voice of the people, and strongly the people want their own voice. They want to be making their own decisions for their lives, because clearly anybody will know and testify. You make the best decisions for your life, not somebody else. You're going to know whether you should do something, whether it be financially, physically, or medically. It's going to be the best thing for you. You don't want somebody else making those decisions, and that's what the government likes to do. They like to make other people's decisions. So I want to just thank all the people of New Jersey, and my voters in LD3 for their support and belief in me that, we can do this, and that's how we done it. It wasn't about Ed Durr. It was about New Jersey and their voice, and they wanted to be heard. And they finally did make a statement and said, look, you don't want to listen to us? Well, we're going to fire you. And that's what they did. So I thank them for that. And I hope to be a strong advocate for all the citizens of New Jersey, not just the LB3. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. We look forward to building our relations with you, and good luck. And we'll be keeping our fingers crossed until you said the 18th is when we know.
The 18th is when I hear it's going to be official.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, ladies. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
You too.
Bye.